Hi, welcome to another episode of Night Owl Video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing and liking my video so far. I'm very happy to be here once again, bringing you another review. This time, not an entire series review, but a review of the Wrong Turn films 1 through 5, which is a set I just picked up at my good old Value Village the other day. And I watched part two through five. I've seen part one so many times. I just decided I would just jump in because I hadn't seen any of the other ones. So there is a sixth movie, and there's also a reboot, which I think I have somewhere over here. Yes, right here. This is the reboot that came out last year, I think 2021. So the part six and the reboot will not be in this review, but I'll do 1 through 5, yeah. So, listen, when Wrong Turn Part 1 came out in 2003, I rented it from the video store and I was like instantly a fan. I thought that movie was so good. And it was really weird because I always thought that movie was really well liked, but then I've discovered just doing my research for this review that the first movie did not get good reviews, which I find so strange. I don't know. I just think it's a really good movie. If you, especially like, I feel like it's a real throwback to like 70s horror. But anyway, this series was created by a person named Alan McElroy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And as I mentioned, there are 6 films in the series. There is a 6th part to this original series, which follows in this like timeline or universe. And then the newest one is like a complete reboot with a really different story to it. This whole series revolves around a group of like kind of hillbilly, like what was it, cannibalistic mountain men who basically chase people through the woods and kill them and torture them in various horrible ways. And the series definitely devolved into more like gore and just kind of nasty towards the last few episodes or the last few sequels. So I definitely kind of lost my interest in it, but I'm going to give you kind of a rundown of each movie. And you may notice that I'm talking from this side of the camera today. I'm trying to reduce the glare in my glasses from the laptops, if you're wondering. Also, I get to show off the other side of my collection, and there's I thought these were kind of my cooler VHS tapes, and then there's the most expensive Blu-ray I ever bought was House. But that's for another day. Today we're talking about Wrong Turn 1 through 3, which are not nearly as good movies as House. But anyway, the first one came out, like I said, in 2003. It was directed by a guy named Rob Schmidt. Special effects and produced by Stan Winston, who I mentioned the other day as a person who did special effects on Leviathan, I think it was. And he also did special effects for Jurassic Park and Aliens and things like that. It stars Desmond Harrington in the lead role, along with Eliza Dushku, who I feel like I've seen that person in another movie. Was she in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? You can leave it in the comments if I'm wrong on that. I feel like that's correct. So like I said, the first one did not get good reviews. It did make a ton of money in the movie theater, but it was not well received by critics. I think it has like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that, I mean, it's Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't think it got good reviews there or by critics. And I think, I'm trying to remember who it was that put these out. Fox, 20th Century Fox, and I think I read something where they had like a really hard time promoting the movie because it was so gory and so violent that they really had to fight to get like an 18 rating on that first one. So I think it kind of flew under the radar a little bit. Maybe it found its legs on video, but honestly, when I first saw that first one, I thought it was just so good. It was like really violent, it's really tense, scary, kind of like these hillbilly cannibals chasing these young kids through the woods, and it had some really great tension in it. I'm still so confused by that. But anyway, yeah, definitely like a 70s style like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. I mean, obviously not that rough maybe, but a little more polished. And I thought like the hillbillies were like genuinely scary in the first one. As these series progressed, the hillbillies got more comedic, which was kind of disappointing. They were less scary and more kind of campy, I guess. But anyway, if I was to give the first one a rating, I would say definitely a solid 4.5 out of 5. And I don't know where these movies are available. I didn't look up to see where they're available, but I'm sure they're on some of your favorite streaming platforms, or maybe, as I mentioned the other day, Tubi, spelled Tubi, which again, I highly recommend for surfing for low budget indie movies and stuff like that. Today, I'm having some Tim Hortons. I just got back from picking my niece up from high school, and I decided to stop at Tim's and get me a double, a very Canadian thing. Not too bad. I think the sugar may be settled to the bottom or something. The first half of it was kind of not very sweet, but I do like me some doubles sometimes when I'm out. Today I was listening to Metallica, Kill 'Em All, and I was doing some headbanging, some air drumming, and generally in a good mood. I hope you're doing well out there in video land. So I'm going to give my hand a break here for a minute. We are talking about Wrong Turn, part 1 through 5. I'm kind of going to try to zip through it so the video is not too long. So episode 2 was Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, which came out in 2007. It was a sequel to the original, straight to video. It did have a couple of theatrical screenings at some horror movie festivals before that, but I think must have been like October of 2007. I think they always came out in October of 2007. This was directed by Joe Lynch, who apparently has directed some of the Creepshow TV series for Shudder. I don't have Shudder, so I haven't seen any of that. But part 2 was actually, so I had really low expectations for all these sequels. Part 2 was actually really, really cool, really funny. It had Henry Rollins, who you know as, well, who doesn't, maybe some people don't know who Henry Rollins is. He was originally the lead singer for Black Flag, before that SOA. Then he went on to do Henry Rollins Band, who I got to see perform at Lollapalooza in 91. I feel like if my friend Marcy watches this, she's going to yell at me. It was 90 or 91. Anyway, and then he went on to have a pretty prolific spoken word career. He wrote a whole bunch of books. He wrote about his history in Black Flag, and he did like stand-up spoken word shows. Anyway, he's a very funny guy. Yeah, or I think he's funny anyway. So Henry Rollins is like the lead guy in this movie, which is just, I was so happy to see that. And he plays like an ex-Marine who's leading this crew of like 20-somethings, beautiful-looking 20-somethings, on a reality TV show to survive or whatever. Unbeknownst to them, the Wrong Turn cannibalistic hillbillies are after them in the woods, and they don't. The producers of the show don't know this. I don't think, and so they end up getting picked off one by one. But anyway, it stars Henry Rollins in that role. Somebody named Erica Learson, who was noted for her appearance in Blair Witch, Book of Shadows, and the Texas Chainsaw remake from 2003, which I also would recommend. I might do a review of that somewhere down the road. So this sequel was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It did actually get good reviews. It got like 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, compared to the 40 for the original movie. Anyway, highly recommend it if you're looking for like a good kind of like low budget horror romp through the woods with Henry Rollins being his outrageous self. I won't spoil it for you, but there are some disappointing moments towards the end. But I did think it was really fun. As per usual, there's lots of gore. And again, I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 solid. So that was the second one. The third one is Wrong Turn 3 Left for Dead, and this is another sequel to the original, directed by a person named Declan O'Brien, who I did not know about, but apparently he just passed away this past February. He did go on to direct and write A Wrong Turn 4 and 5, which I will talk about in a few minutes. So yeah, rest in peace, Declan O'Brien. I wish I could say better things about part 3, 4, and 5 on your behalf, but I cannot. They were not great movies. So what I was sort of thinking when I was watching these movies is like, kind of like in the Friends, on the TV show Friends, how they say the one with the whatever, the one with the cat that is turned inside out or whatever. I didn't really watch Friends, but so this is the one with the prisoners. Because I was thinking there's really not much memorable about 3, 4, and 5. So I was trying to remember in my head, like, oh, this is the one with the prisoners. So this one is some prisoners being transferred in a bus. The hillbillies come, take the bus off the road in some devious way. The prisoners get out of the bus. They're running through the woods, and now the cannibalistic hillbilly mountain men are chasing prisoners through the woods. It wasn't terrible. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I didn't think it was it's definitely not very good, and it definitely had, and I think I mentioned this a few minutes ago, that the quality of the films went like this from the first one, which clearly had like a budget. These ones went straight to video. Not that good. Again, I don't know where this one's available, but I would check Tubi probably if I had to guess. And I really struggled with these last couple of ones because there's really not a lot memorable about them. So the next one was Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings. Again, we're reviewing this 1 through 5 of the film's Wrong Turn, the Wrong Turn series. And 4 and 5 were a bit of a slog to get through. To be honest, by part 5, I was putting together my notes for this review while it was playing. I just checked out. But part 4 is called Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings. It came out in 2011, again, straight to video in October of that year. This is the one in the sanatorium in the winter. Again, directed and written by Declan O'Brien. This one I was kind of excited for because I love, as you've learned in my previous few videos, I love underwater movies. I also love movies that take place in the winter or in the Arctic or any kind of frosty environment. And this one takes place in a frosty environment with a snowstorm and some kids or 20-somethings trapped in an old how do you say that? Sanatorium. So when I saw that, I kind of thought, oh, good, this could be up my alley, but sadly it. And the other thing that really turned me off from these last few ones is the gratuitous sex scenes, like way over the top, no need of it. I get they were probably targeting 20-somethings for these movies, but as a 52-year-old person watching this, I was like, oh, come on. Just go make softcore porn movies and get out of this, because I just thought it was really dumb. And the gore really got really phony looking and really over the top. I mean, like these hillbillies feeding the victim's intestines to the victim itself, and just really cornball stuff. Really devolved. I thought the first one really had a good 70s thriller kind of, like I said, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type. It could have fit into that era. But man, these last few ones were just really hokey, straight to video. Maybe that's your jam, and if it is, I'm sorry if I offended you, but I just found these ones really cornball. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I gave Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings a 1 out of 5, and that's being generous. It probably should have been a 0.5 out of 5. It was really corny. Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines came out the following year in 2012. This is another... So Bloody Beginnings was a prequel to the original, and this is now a second prequel to the original. And I think the director said this one's supposed to take place in the fall after the winter of the Bloody Beginnings episode. Again, directed and written by Declan O'Brien, starring Roxanne McKee, who went on to be in the Game of Thrones. And again, I was like, when I saw Henry Rollins in part 2, I thought, in this one, part 5, it's got Doug Bradley, as you may know, as Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. So I was really excited to see Doug Bradley, and I thought maybe there will be some salvation here, but no, this one not good. And this is the how did I say it? The one that takes place at the Mountain Man Festival. So they have like this kind of like rip-off of Burning Man, but it takes place in the woods, and people dress up like the woods, the mountain men or whatever, because now that's become like myth or whatever. Anyway, so bad. This one was released straight to video October 2012. Again, I would probably give this like a 0.5 out of 5. Really low budget, really cheesy effects, really bad acting. It's just not good at all. Some of the sets, like it later in the movie, not to spoil it, but later in the movie, they go to a town, and the town is clearly on a soundstage, but it looks so bad, so fake. I just couldn't get over it. Real, just as I wrote here, really silly and miles away from the original series or original film. So anyway, this was followed by a 6th movie, Wrong Turn 6: Last Resort, which came out in 2014. And again, I did mention the reboot, which I actually would recommend, and maybe I'll do a review of that down the road. I still maintain that the first one was the best. The second one, surprisingly entertaining, and then you could probably just skip the last. I haven't seen part 6, but I'm guessing based on 3, 4, and 5, probably not gonna do much. The reboot did do some different stuff with the original story. So it involved like a kind of like a cult town, like a cult community living out in the woods. And so it kind of did a little twist on the original. And I actually thought it was really refreshing. It had, what's that dude's name? I'm forgetting that guy's name already. What is that guy's name? Matthew Modine, who, if you grew up in the 80s, you know Matthew Modine, and Charlotte Vega, although I don't know what Charlotte Vega's from. But I would recommend that one, and I will do a review of that down the road. Today we're just focusing on Wrong Turn. Here's my copy of Wrong Turn, the original, part 1, because I did get that one as soon as it came out on DVD, and it has a bunch of extra features on it and stuff. Definitely recommend this one. So good, so violent, and got some pretty cool. The CGI is a little cornball, but definitely recommend that one. So this has been my review, sort of overlook of Wrong Turn 1 through 5. Again, I would strongly recommend episode 1. Episode 2, pretty cool too, with Henry Rollins, especially if you love Henry Rollins. And then again, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy them or rent them. If you can see 3, 4, 5 like streaming on some free platform such as Tubi or something like that, and you're bored and you're looking for something cheesy to watch, and you like the original Wrong Turn, maybe. And that's being generous. Let's have another sip of this double. Oh yeah, so sweet. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to be starting my cult movie series on Tuesday, next Tuesday, which would make it. I'm just waiting for my calendar to pop up here on my computer. My computer's very, very slow. So that would be Tuesday, May the 24th. I'm going to be doing my first installment of Cult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. And I think I'm going to do one of my favorites right off the bat, and that is After Hours, Martin Scorsese's very black humor comedy. So check out my channel for that. And I don't know, not sure if I'm going to have a video between this one and that one, but make sure you subscribe, click like, follow me, subscribe, like, comment if you want. I would love to hear some comments from people out there. What are your thoughts on Wrong Turn? And what are you watching lately? Maybe streaming or on physical media. Would love to hear from some folks. Again, thanks to all my new followers, and thank you for the likes thus far. It's been great. And I'm over on Instagram, Night Owl Video, where I post updates and probably some little odds and ends as things, thrifting finds and things like that. And I will be back definitely next Tuesday, but probably between there, I'll probably be back with another review. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Night Owl Video number 4, and I'll catch you in the video store.